I'm away from my children, my wife. Like you have non-refundable precious breaths of my life. Just so we all know, we get 78 years in the industrialized world, 27,550 days on Earth. I'm 42, I've used half. Whatever's left, if you sleep 8 hours a day, you're gonna sleep through a third of it. All that's to demonstrate, it's not that much time. So if I'm gonna be spending time with you, bet your ass I'm gonna pre-qualify you fully. I'm gonna know with a super high degree of probability the who, the what, the where, the when, the why, and I'm gonna make it clear that when I see you, I'm gonna make a request, which is to hire you.
Y'all are too far apart.
Yeah.
And the realistic, his expectations, they're never gonna meet.
Sure.
Where you gonna go then?
Well,
where he's saying the 600 and you know that's gonna deter you away, that it should be at 570.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? And then you already know that he absolutely, because I've had people before, they're like, I got time, I can wait.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And those type of people, if it's not going to sell, it's going to sit there for a long time, and then in the end, it's not going to be good for anybody.
It doesn't help them. You're exactly correct.
It's not. I mean, it's not going to help your relationship either, because
No.
they're going to blame you.
Correct. And Denise is shaking her head yes, because she just had one that her and I've been coaching her through. The question that I would ask, and Denise, what did I ask you? I said, what was the question that I asked when we were at that place with your seller?
Basically, am I helping them? I'm not helping them at all.
And first, what is their motivation? Because it all comes down to motivation. If the seller's motivation is price, and they're not in line with reality, then that's not a listing that I really I can afford to have.
Okay, so you've passed on them.
If their motivation is price, then no, absolutely not. I would absolutely pass on it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a headache.
But I got the same situation.
Correct.
I mean, as that example.
Yeah.
Sometimes you have to say no, but again, sometimes you have to say yes. It might be your cousin. You cannot say not to them. Or you still have to say no if it's not working.
Yeah.
But
So it's interesting. So
it's
just what immediately comes up for me when I hear that is that somebody, and I don't know if it's true for you or not, but they're probably not pre-qualifying fully before they go on the appointment. So I'm not digging and asking lots of questions. So if you don't mind me asking, is it an option for you to not sell this home and still move? If they say yes, that's a red flag.
Yeah.
Say, hey, is it an option for you to rent this home and still move? Oh yeah, I'm not in a rush. Boom, another red flag, right? Like, well, you strike me to be someone who's pretty savvy. I'm sure you've been online, and looked at these estimates of value. Did you have an idea realistically you're thinking on price? They say 600 and you know it's like 450. Another red flag, right? So right there in pre-qual, I'd be like, based on what I'm hearing from you, it sounds like your main motivation to sell the home is price. Now, if on the outside chance the marketplace wouldn't deliver on price, what would you do? Well, I just think, actually, when I make a suggestion, that's what you should do. I'll send you my contact information if anything changes. I appreciate your time. I wish you the best of luck.
Right then and
because
there.
right then and there. Because what I'm aware of is that the shitty leads hide the good ones. And if I don't generate, then I have to tolerate. Right? If I don't generate, I have to tolerate people's shit. So if I'm generating on a regular basis, like imagine you went to your doctor and you're like, what? Like they were like, what hurts? They were like, guess. You're like, get out of my office, man. Like, what are you doing? This is a waste of time.
And the other thing to consider, if you listed your cousin's home and it didn't sell, what do you think that would do to your relationship? If it didn't sell.
Yeah, right.
And they may hold you responsible.
So a way to fix that and reclaim a lot of time is to pre-qual fully every single presentation. So I don't care if my grandma calls me and says, Aaron, I want to sell my house. Great, grandma. I got a couple real quick questions I need to ask you just to make sure I'm fully prepared. And I'll be brief because I know your time is valuable. And I'll go right into it. And the way that I want you guys to think about this, even past clients, like all these people, like, do you think surgeons, because they know you, would not go down the checklist? Would you want them to do that?
No.
Hell no. Do you think a pilot who's your homie is going to be like, you know what? Fuck this pilot list. I'm just going to wing it today. No, you're actually not giving them good service. And the people that you like, they deserve it and better more than anybody else. So it sets you apart as a professional because most people don't do it. Somebody says, hey, I want to list my property. Like, great, I'll be there at 10. So if I'm at the table learning shit that I didn't know, it's because I didn't ask questions. And I should know ahead of time before I even get there.
That's interesting. I've actually never thought about it that way. When you think about pre-qualifying somebody, you're thinking about a buyer.
Right.
I've never really thought about it that way, that you would pre-qualify a seller.
Yeah, because in order for me to help sellers in high volume, You know, I've done 2,000 transactions in my career, did 100 deals a year, 10 years in a row, did 200 deals a year twice with 2 assistants and like a buyer's agent. It's not like a monster team. But for me to take 10 or 15 listings a month, we have to be a lean, mean machine, and we have to be very efficient. I can only meet with 8, 9s, and 10s motivation. If you're a 7, 6, or 5, go talk to somebody else. Because what will happen is you'll spend time on the 7, 6, and 5 for a year while I listed 10 other properties that month.
Yeah.
Because you're in a drip and you're sending them videos and you're like, oh, think of me. You know, I invite them to my thing. Meanwhile, there's people right now in your marketplace, right now, guaranteed, 100%. I put $1 million on it. Right now, who made a decision, I need to put my home on the market today. My job is to find them. But if I'm not pre-qualifying at a high level, I can't really find them. I'm messing around here when they're down here.
Good.
Does that make sense?
Good stuff.
So you gotta get through the resistance. With that guy, he wouldn't let me pull out everything. What I loved that you did was you asked the seller to show you and read out loud everything. Like,
I like
do you
it.
see what this one
I took
sold
that
for?
note.
Do you see how long it took? And
If I say it, they likely
Yeah.
won't hear it.
Or argue.
If they say it, they're reading it. It's a fact.
Yeah, so Denise, write this down. People never argue with their own information. Ever. Anybody have a significant other? Test that out. That's what I think. They're like, no, but if they say it, then it's fine.
Yeah.
So the skill set is asking questions to get them to tell me.
yes.
That's where all the money is. You understand? But that's completely opposite of the way we've learned to communicate.
So what do you do when they stand up and they go to the refrigerator and turn their back on you? That's what happened with this man. I had
Yeah.
all the documents with all
Sure.
the proof, the same exact thing, you know, the last 6, everything. So how do you bring him back in?
to you, or did you just get up?
He was like, no, I don't want to see that. And he got up and he got water.
And this is where it
sat
has
back
to
down.
do with what I call polite confrontation.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like confrontation. Like only 7% of the population is wired to like confrontation. Most people detest it and do everything to stay away from it. But the thing that makes sales uncomfortable is not being clear. Right? If you think about it, all of the people that are like, maybe, possibly, it's just a lack of clarity. So when something like that happens and you would be like, oh, it's like, well, you know, I'm noticing that it seems to be that you're very resistant to actually seeing information that would be contrary to what your expectation is price-wise. And unfortunately, I don't get to dictate value, the market does. So my question to you is knowing that the last closed sales were all between 500 and 550, if you knew that that's what would be required in order to get the home sold, would you sell it? Shh. Hell no, I wouldn't. Great. I appreciate your time. Make it a great day. Shake their hand. Get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
Like, it's not a productive use of time. And he's being disrespectful.
Yeah.
Truthfully. He's getting up being like, I don't really care what you have to say. Or when I sit down, the TV's on, I'm like, do you mind if we turn that off?
Yes.
I'm away from my children, my wife. Like, you have non-refundable precious breaths of my life. Just so we all know, we get 78 years in the industrialized world. 27,550 days on Earth. I'm 42, I've used half. Whatever's left, if you sleep 8 hours a day, you're gonna sleep through a third of it. All that's to demonstrate, it's not that much time. So if I'm gonna be spending time with you, you bet your ass I'm gonna pre-qualify you fully. I'm gonna know with a super high degree of probability the who, the what, the where, the when, the why, and I'm gonna make it clear that when I see you, I'm gonna make a request, which is to hire me. We're not like tea and crumpets, like hanging out, talking about your dog. Right?
That's true.
Yes, ma'am.
So I don't know about the rest of your business, but most of my business on the buy and list side right now are have to sells and have to moves. More than 9 months ago, I think our listings were very different.
Yep.
So how are you pivoting for that right now?
Yeah, so 2 things. One is 90% of homeowners have mortgages that are less than 6%. 65 of them have mortgages that are less than 4%. You guys will shop online for 2 hours to save $10 on Amazon. And then we get mad at people because they don't want to fucking sell their homes. Like, bro, you wouldn't do it. So the only people that are going to have to do something, that are going to do something right now, have to. Death, divorce, job relocation, moving to assisted living facilities, retirement, right? So of all the stuff that I've seen out there, most people is like, you know, I jumped on some office that was doing a meeting. They were talking about the 4-minute mile. I'm like, what the fuck does that have to do with less inventory? You're not actually teaching me how to deal with this. It's like this rah, like hustle, like get over it. No, You should be intentionally and purposely shifting to lead sources that are feeding you now. So if I was to ask you in 2009 to 2011, was that a good time to sell real estate? So she's shaking her head no. Now check. All right, so here's what's interesting. It depends on who you ask. If you ask people that were using traditional methods, they were getting their ass kicked. If you asked REO agents, best time in their life. They murdered the game, made more money than they ever made in their lifetime. If you ask people that were dealing with investors, best time to ever sell real estate. So what's interesting is money has an addictive quality, and because of it, we get addicted to the way that we receive it. So if you made money one way, guess what? You get addicted to that shit. And it's very difficult for you to do something different. But in business, I have to be moving with where the market's at. The marketplace right now is with life events. 50% of my business is probate because I live in heaven's waiting room. Do you understand? People die all the time. Does that affect the market? Like, if it's in an up market, do people die? In a sideways market, do people die? In a downward market, do people die? Yes. You know what another good source is? Divorce. Do you know that 57% of all marriages end in divorce? All of those have what? Homes that need to be sold. And if you can get into the divorce decree, they don't have a choice on who they choose for an agent. Judge decides. And if they don't know the price, you get in front of the judge, guess what the judge says? Lower the fucking price. Okay? Another source that I would propose is creating a cash offer program for yourself. Now, I can tell you a lead source that in the mastermind that Mark's in, that we've been utilizing, and Jose's taken 6 listings in 9 months, because what this company has done is they found people who have raised their hand and say, I want a cash offer. Now, if they've raised their hand and they say they want a cash offer in this marketplace, are they motivated? Do they probably have a life event?
Yeah.
So they're saying they want a cash offer, but guys, what was Zillow doing and Redfin and HomeLight and all these companies when the marketplace was slammed in 2020, 2021? They all had cash offer programs. Why are they doing that? No. They know that only 5% of the time when people take the cash offer, you know what they're ending up with? Seller leads. And then they sell them to you for 30%. So here's what's interesting about attorneys. They have gatekeepers. Not only that, attorneys have a tendency to think they're hot shit and that they're way smarter than you. So they have a lowered opinion of you, and you got to get through a gatekeeper. So what if I told you that 95% of people who pass without a trust, which means all of their information is public. Did you know that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So then all you have to do is gather the information. You can use a separate service to get their phone numbers. Call them.
But here's a thought. Once you've sold the probate, then look up that attorney.
Right.
And call them and say, I just want to thank you for the great job that you did on creating and closing this probate for this client. I really appreciate what you did because it helped me as their realtor get the deal closed. Now, then the attorney's going to say what? Go ahead.
Thank you as well.
Yeah, I'm just curious. I'm always seeking great professionals like yourself. Are you open to receiving referrals for probates? What are they going to say? What are they going to say? They're going to say yes. I'm going to say terrific. So I'm just curious. As you're going through probates, do you ever have personal representatives that might be out of the area, maybe out of state, that need help with finding out value, maybe getting the home ready for sale or getting items cleared out of the house? Well, yeah, we have that all the time. If I could provide a market analysis for your clients with no expectations, rental and market analysis, is that something that you think would help them? Well, yeah. Why don't we have a coffee and talk about how we can help each other?
And the reason why and that's wonderful to do that. The reason why I'm suggesting to go straight to the families is because you'll build it faster.
Yes.
Various things takes a long time. It's like fucking dating.
If it's
date like 15 times.
It is
before
faster.
happens, you know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Where with you go straight to the families, boom, like you get them right away. And I know because I've taught multiple people how to do this, but I have a guy on my team who's a full-time cop, full-time for the city of Pembroke Pines. Like, so he's in his car prospecting. I've taught him how to do it, taught him what to say and how to say it. And he's done 21 listings in 12 months. So he's listing 2 a month. So I know the same way I know the sky is blue and the grass is green, that's a fantastic source, particularly here locally. It just takes time to get it up and off the ground. Like, it might take you 90 days before you take a listing, and most people give up. They get discouraged. And you got to be okay with, like, you know, calling people.
Anything else? All right, so if there isn't any other questions, you all know Aaron, obviously.
We do now, because he's.
You know him really well now, obviously. Yeah. I'm proud to say that he's my coach, but more than anything, my coach for the past 4 years. More than anything, he's also my friend and my mentor. Before we came here today in the car, he motivated me from the heart. And it was just to have people, someone in your life that is that way, it's priceless. It's so meaningful and valuable. I think you heard him say his track record. Yes, 2,000 homes, 80% of them were listings in his career. He's currently coaching 100 real estate agents, of which 12 are earning over $1 million a year. So I always have something that I can glean from him and learn from him, and it's refreshing. He also, in the past 15 months, Aaron has grown our Elite Builders EXP family by 191 agents in 15 months. So clearly he knows how to close, and he knows how to teach people how to close. So I would encourage you all to stick around, because we're going to have a formal presentation on EXP Elite Builders, and there's 2 reasons that you'll want to stay. The first reason is we have some awesome raffle items. Those are great.
Circuit City. My first job was at Circuit City as a salesperson. It was a dope job because it was a commission-based job. And they taught you how to sell, like a little extended warranty. And if you did, you got extra money, right? This is why I'm so excited about this opportunity, okay? So this is the innovation curve. When something is new, this is the growth curve. So first you have innovators. They see something before anybody